to all of you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Today is our 8th YLP session, and just like the previous time, we all are excited for it. Isn't it? Can I have a show of hands, please? Are we excited for the day? That's good. I'm Sukash, the Sergeant at Arms for the day. Before we start our meeting, I'd like to read the vision statement of Toastmasters International. The mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutual, supportive, and a positive learning environment in which every individual member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skill, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. And before I go into the meeting, we all know that we'll have an education module before we break into our breakouts room. And today we have an exuberant personality with us who will let us know the importance of setting goals and pursuing dreams. And it is time for me to introduce our guest speaker. He is a truly versatile personality. He is a chartered accountant by profession and is a director in one of the multinational audit and advisory firms in Qatar. But for the pandemic, he is a globetrotter. He leads a team in QCA League. He is an amateur golfer. He is one of the founders of Indian Sports Center and is associates with many socio-cultural and professional organizations in Qatar. He performed an Indian music band Doha Dawani some years back, and he is a singer in the band. He also loves to perform, give humorous Harikatha performances in social gatherings. He is also extremely popular among friends as he somehow manages to stay connected with all of them. He is very active on social media. He has a fan following for his detailed Facebook posts on various subjects, including movie reviews and travelogues. He is an ardent fan of Indian cricket team and of course Chennai Super Kings. He goes with a group of friends to watch World Cup matches live regardless of where they are played. Last year, he chartered a Toastmasters club in his organization. Though he is already an accomplished speaker, he became its charter president to motivate his colleague to join. He is leading by example and has already completed first level in his pathway. He is also a very spiritual and philanthropic person. He has an extremely talented wife, a teenage son, and a lovely daughter. In short, Toastmaster Gopal Subramaniam likes to live his life to the fullest. Please help me invite people's popular Paul Gopal. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for that flowery introduction. Honorable teachers from the DTAE Mandir Marg School, leaders from District 116 and District 41 of Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear students, a very good evening to you all. Being a Tamilian myself, I feel so happy to be with the students of Delhi Tamil Education Association School and share some of my thoughts today. My dear friend DTM Anita Samantha asked me a couple of days back as to whether I can deliver a motivational speech in a youth leadership program for a school in Delhi. I immediately said fine, as I love connecting with young minds. One of my very close friends in Doha is an alumni of DTAE Mandir Marg School, he was so proud to share some background information about his alma mater. I could not resist googling about the institution to know more. I understand the institution is nearly 100 years old with P.H. Sundaresan Iyer as the founder. Well, what a growth in the last century with 7,000 students and 500 teachers to boast of. And this Mandir Marg branch, I understand, is especially known for richness in intellect and community life. I'm amazed to see the quantity and quality of information uploaded in the school's website on the academics, facilities, faculty, achievements, beautiful pictures of various events. I also learned from a friend as to how quickly the school adopted to virtual education mode this year when the school social distancing regulations started in March 2020 due to the pandemic which the whole world is gripped with now. Hats off to the school management for their quick adaptation to the new norm. It's indeed a wonderful gesture on the part of the Toastmasters fraternity in Qatar and India to structure this youth leadership program for the benefit of grade 9 and grade 11 students of the school. I'm really elated to be one of the speakers today. I'd like to cover today in my speech as to how you set your goals and how you pursue your dreams. How many times each day do you mean to say one thing and say another instead because you are worried about what others might think? How often do you wake up in the morning with an idea in your mind for what you want to accomplish, only to find yourself doing something else because of social pressures or personal anxieties? Do you dress the way you want to dress? Do you listen to the music you really want to listen to? Or are you really doing something to pursue your dreams or doing things to pursue someone else's dreams? All these questions are quite natural to face in this age where you are in now. Yes, it's a challenge to be yourself, but you can definitely learn how to be yourself. You cannot change what you are, but what you can do is fully in your control. First and foremost, you must have a strong foundation. Having a good education is so fundamental, which I'm sure you're all fortunate to have. You have wonderful teachers, good infrastructure, so never miss out this period in having a solid academic foundation on which you can build on your career. In everyone's life at this age, three people play a significant part. First, your parents. Their contribution and sacrifices in bringing up children is immense. Most of them silently deliver their commitments, stretching themselves beyond their capacity, just to ensure that their children have a better life than what they had. So dear children, respect your parents, listen to their advice and make them happy. Whatever they do, it is always with an objective of betterment of your future. In this modern era, one of the main grudges with the children have with parents is gadgets time, taking them off from gadgets time. Yes, this is one of the evils of the modern world. But I am not the advocate for complete detox. These gadgets, being in social media do help you as well. But have it in a moderate way so that the gadgets don't dictate your life. This is one of the things which we commonly face amongst the parents and the children as a rift. Get off it and use it in a proper way. Then comes the wonderful teachers. You might feel sometimes that your teachers are strict. They don't give you the freedom you desire. But again, they do that to inculcate the right values on you and the discipline required for you. Teachers set the tone of their classrooms, build a warm environment, mentor and nurture the students. They spend probably more time with you than your parents, and they know your strengths and weaknesses than your parents probably, and they nurture your talent and shape your career. The third and most important contributor who will have influence in any youngster's future is friends. The friendship you develop in university or in your employment would normally have an attachment to that institution or an organization and will have its own pros and cons. Or the friends you build between the age of 15 to 18 years are invariably friends for life. As at this stage, one is free from bias or prejudice. Among these three important contributors, you don't have a control in who is your parent, who don't have a control in who is your teacher, but who is your friend is entirely at your disposal. So have friends who understand you well, who show empathy, who are genuine in their expressions and heart, who have passion to succeed, and more importantly, who have value-based behaviors. So friends, you heard from me about the solid foundation in the form of basic levels of academics and three main contributors who are important at this stage. Now let us look at what is your own role in shaping your life. You're all in that particular stage of your career where you should be able to dig deep into yourself and see where your strengths lie. Try to develop a roadmap to build on your strengths and pursue your passion. Friends, here I would like to share the inspiring story of Steve Jobs, who was the chairman and CEO of Apple Corporation. Most of you must be aware that he is widely recognized as a pioneer of the personal computer revolution in 1970s and 80s, and he came out with this wonderful innovation called Macintosh computers. In one of his interviews, he has revealed the facts of his childhood, that his biological mother, who was an unwed graduate student, decided before Steve's birth itself to give him on adoption to parents who were college graduates. Unfortunately, the parents who adopted Steve were not college graduates, but they promised to his biological mother that they will ensure that Steve goes to a college. 17 years later, Steve did go to a college, but he felt that the college education was so expensive for his parents to manage, and they were spending their whole lifetime savings on his education. Also, he didn't see any value in that education to what he wanted to do in life, and he decided to quit. Yes, he dropped out from the college. He slept on the floor in his friend's house. He sold empty Coke cans to fend for his food. He used to travel several miles every Saturday night to get at least one good meal a week at the Hare Krishna temple. But the curiosity and the intuition of Steve turned out to be one of the priceless aspects at that time for him, as he started learning calligraphy. Varying the amount of space between different letter compositions really got the interest of Steve. This made him 10 years later to invent Macintosh computers, the first computer with beautiful typography, multiple type fonts, and proportionately faced out as well. If Steve didn't get out of the college and pursued his passion, we would not have had Macintosh computers. After all, the Windows of Bill Gates copied Macintosh computers. Yes, Steve trusted in his gut feeling and had the faith to follow what his heart said. The story doesn't end here. He was fired when he was 30 years old from Apple. The company he founded, he was fired from that, as his ideologies were not syncing with the board of directors of Apple. But he didn't stop. He worked even harder in the area of his interest and founded two companies called Next and Pixar. And Pixar came out with his first ever computer-generated feature film called Toy Story, which is a world-famous feature film. And Pixar also had the most successful animation studio in the universe. His company Next was bought over by Apple, and again Steve came into Apple and ruled the information technology sector and mobile telephony world as well, till he passed away in 2011. Yes, Steve had his ups and downs, but he didn't lose faith in his abilities, and he loved what he did, and he did what he loved. His famous quote always was, "Do what you believe is great work, and only way to do great work is to love what you do." What an amazing quote it is, and he lived to that. So friends, figure out first what you are good at and work on it. Pursue your passion, and importantly, never ever give up. Once you know what is your area of interest, practice hard day in and day out. Results may not come immediately, but never ever lose hope. Concentrate on the process, prepare well and wholeheartedly for every venture of yours, and success will start coming as long as you religiously follow the process. Opportunities don't come all the time. You got to create them most of the times. But always make the total effort. Even when the odds are against you, efforts do matter, and that will only take you across the line. Before I end my speech, I would like to share with you my own life story as well. Of course, it's no way as inspiring as Steve Jobs is, but I do believe that I did justice by pursuing my dreams against all odds and succeeded to a reasonable extent. My parents hail from a lower middle class family in Chennai, and with their limited means, they gave me good education and inculcated good values in life. which helped me work hard to pursue my passion. I was an average student up to 8th standard and I used to have difficulty in mathematics. But one of my good friends, John, helped me in maths, and that timely help turned me to a topper in my school, in my class, all the way up to 12th standard in St. Thomas Secondary School, which was one of the best schools in Chennai those days. I was in Tamil medium up to 10th standard, studying all the subjects in Tamil, which is my mother tongue, and suddenly switching to English medium was a big challenge. But I managed it as I didn't want to lose my tag of being the first in class. After getting good marks in 10th standard exam, I pursued commerce stream, even though in those days, commerce stream was the least preferred one by the toppers in academics in 10th grade. But I opted for commerce stream as I was determined to become a chartered accountant like my cousin who was my role model. I did well in 10th standard by topping in commerce stream in my school and continued my excellence in academics in Bachelor's of Commerce in college as well. After graduation, I pursued chartered accountancy by joining for articleship training in one of the best firms in India at the time called A.F. Ferguson and Company. I was enjoying my stint there with so much of travel and meeting with top-notch professionals every day in multinational companies. And an introvert Gopal slowly became an extrovert. And I was really enjoying the change in me. But my academics got a beating. I failed in CA Intermediate 3 times, especially in mathematics and statistics, where I got centum in 10th standard and 12th standard, but CA Intermediate I could not pass for 3 times. But again, a friend by name Vidya came to my rescue. She counseled me. She pepped up me. She told me, Gopal, this is not the end of life for you. You are capable of much better things in life. But just for my sake, give me one more attempt. I listened to her. I gave my last attempt in CA Intermediate with all the confidence. I passed CA Intermediate and within 1 year, I became a double professional, finishing both CA and ICAA. Yes, I had the fire in me to pursue my dream, and importantly, I had chosen the right friends who supported me when I badly needed help. Those days for Indian Chartered Accountants, a career in Gulf region was an attraction. I also got lured into it. I came to Qatar in early 1994 at the age of 25 and joined KPMG, a Big Four accounting and consulting firm, as the 8th employee of the firm in this country. In 1999, after having 5 years of tenure with the firm, I decided that I had enough. Probably I need to go to industry or get back to India. But my partner, Hakim Al-Adami, an Iraqi national, who was my mentor, provided me a roadmap. And he told me I could be a partner in the firm if I continued with the same enthusiasm and energy. A partner in a Big Four firm was a great destination to reach for any finance professional. And the positive words from my mentor enticed me to run hard with a single-minded focus till I reached my destination in early 2008, when I was made a partner of KPMG in Qatar. Now, after nearly 27 years with this firm, I feel so happy that I had been instrumental to the growth of the firm, and we now have close to 350 professionals and 10 partners in KPMG Qatar. During this journey of 27 successful years with the firm, I would have recruited and trained at least 300 professionals who are either in KPMG Qatar now or with our clients or other multinationals and leading organizations in Qatar or elsewhere in the world. Yes, I feel so happy that I pursued my passion, and I could proudly say that I have made a positive difference in the lives of so many professionals. Friends, I would like to sign off by quoting Arthur Ashe, a famous tennis player. His words were, "Start where you are and use what you have and do what you can." Yes, our time is limited. Don't waste, friends, by living someone else's life. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me. Over to you, moderator. Thank you very much.